Right. Roger Stone joins us, but I want us to watch this.
Kasich is now 1 for 30. Is it 1 for 30 or 1 for 29? He's 1 for 30. It's good if he gets out. I don't want him in. Why are you in? Everyone says he's such a nice guy. He's not a nice guy. You remember the first debates? He came at me so strong.
All right. Joining us now, Roger Stone, Republican political consultant, editor of the StoneZone.com, and author of The Clintons' War on Women. My friend, good to see you as always. All right. Where do we start? Tomorrow's Wisconsin.
Yes.
What are you looking for? We have a Real Clear Politics average that says Cruz up by 5. We have a poll out today. It's not as well-known of a poll. It's American Research Group. They say Trump is up by 10. There's been polls that show Cruz up by 10. What are you looking for?
Well, I think the polls that showed Cruz leading by 10 are about a week old. I do think the momentum is now with Trump. I do think he's closing, but let's recognize Wisconsin is not that conservative a state. It does not have a large evangelical Christian vote. It is an overwhelmingly Catholic state. Of the primary states that are left to take place, I think it is the most competitive for Donald Trump. Bottom line, he's got to come out of here with some delegates. Now, Ted Cruz must win Wisconsin. Trump doesn't have to win Wisconsin, but it does narrow the path going forward, and he's going to have to make up those votes elsewhere in the count.
Now, Trump is putting on a big push now. He's sort of, he's trying to play the comeback kid of sorts in Wisconsin. Low expectations, says he's going to win. He hasn't lost all that often, and there's only one primary tomorrow that of any significance, and that's Wisconsin. So what if he loses, how does he handle that?
Well, he's a very effective campaigner, but I would also point out that in those rare occasions where he has lost, say Kansas, Oklahoma, those caucuses took place on a day in which there were larger states in play, and therefore there was not much of a setback. Again, I think Cruz has to win. Trump doesn't have to win. I am hopeful that he could emerge with as many as 15 delegates, perhaps as few as 9. But I think as the schedule goes forward, we move to much stronger states for him. New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Delaware, all in his backyard.
You heard him say what he said about Kasich. He also went on to say Kasich is taking my votes. I want you to hear what a Ted Cruz ad aimed at Kasich as well.
Right before John Kasich was governor, he collected $611,000 from a Fortune 500 corporation. After Kasich became governor, that same company received $619 grand in state tax breaks for job creation. But last year, the company laid off 100 Ohioans, even as its CEO cut a $500,000 check to Kasich's super PAC. John Kasich, not for us.
Why, first of all, does Trump want Kasich out, and why does Cruz want Kasich out?
Well, those are two different questions. First of all, I don't understand why Trump wants him out. I actually think Trump benefits from the divided opposition. The not Trump vote is divided. Secondarily, as far as the Cruz ad is concerned, this is coming from a man who took a secret $1 million sweetheart loan from Goldman Sachs, a Wall Street bank that you and I bailed out. Far more egregious. That ad was a reach. I actually think it's beneficial for Kasich to stay in the race. I cannot find any data that indicates that Kasich voters move to Trump or that Kasich delegates move to Trump. I think he benefits from split opposition. I hope Kasich stays in.
What about a team of some sort? You heard Cruz say that it's going to be either him or Trump, and if it's not him or Trump, if one of those don't get to the number of delegates, there's a good chance they're going to screw these guys. I mean, there's a good chance, as you've done so much research on and talked about so much. Is there any marriage, any cooperation, any civil union between Trump and Cruz between now and convention time if it becomes apparent that one of them can't get 1, 2, 3, 7?
No, I don't think so. I think it's more likely that there would be a marriage between Trump and someone else.
You mean who?
Well, it remains to be seen.
Yeah.
Anybody with 100 votes, if you're 100 votes short.
Right.
So the point here is that it is essential that the Trump campaign have a reliable hard count on two questions. One, the first ballot, but secondarily, they need a hard count on procedural questions such as rules and credentials. If you have a reliable hard count, and you're way, way ahead of Ted Cruz by, say, 300 votes, 250 votes, there's any number of governors, or senators or some combination thereof.
have those delegates,
It doesn't
yeah.
necessarily have to be someone who ran for president previously. It could be, but it doesn't
Okay,
have to be.
right.
You're in the driver's seat if you're 1100.
Right.
Because the Powells in the party will realize you're closest to the nomination and therefore closest to be president. There's no deal Ted Cruz could make on the first ballot that brings him enough votes to get nominated.
All right, let me ask you. Megyn Kelly was talking about Donald Trump. She gave an interview to Charlie Rose, and you remember that interview with Bill O'Reilly, who was begging Trump to come onto the debate, and Trump trashed Megyn Kelly in that. Let's watch.
I have zero respect for Megyn Kelly. I don't think she's very good at what she does. I think she's highly overrated.
Did you expect Bill to defend you?
I mean, I wish he had defended me more in that interview.
You know, there's all kinds of stories out today that Trump knows all the inside secrets of Fox, etc. Why do you think Bill didn't fire back at Trump when he criticized? He said what he said about Megyn Kelly. And what is the relationship between Trump and Fox?
I have no way of knowing. I do think it's important to recognize that Fox is reaching a disproportionate number of Republican primary voters. And I think, for example, Sean Hannity has been very good to Trump. Bill O'Reilly has been very good to Trump. Fox and Friends in the Morning is very good to Trump, particularly my friend Steve Doocy. So, I mean, there are people there who I think are sympathetic or at least treat Trump with complete fairness. I have to say that in terms of defending Trump, Megyn Kelly's given me numerous opportunities to do that on her show, and I've always taken her up on it because they're reaching so many Republican primaries voters, and I think it's important that somebody on that show stand up for Trump. I'm proud to do it.
Final prediction tomorrow, Wisconsin, 10 seconds.
Trump on the move, gaining. But I think it is probably a Cruz victory. It's a question of delegates, though. Trump has to come out of there with some delegates.
Roger Stone, always great to see you, my friend.
to be
Thank
here.
you very, very much, and we will talk to you very, very soon. Thank you, Roger.